Hello everyone and welcome back to the 100th episode of Schooling Around. So of course we have interesting things in store for you all, starting with the senior clap out, then we head over to Kingsbury Country Day School and ending with a special interview from Oxford Virtual Academy. So stick around. The last full day of school was last week, and of course we had to be there to capture the moment. They had lots of things to do, including their senior clap out, so take a look. Alright, so today we are here at Oxford High School for the seniors' last full day of school. As you can see, it's crowded and it's a big deal for all these students and parents. We're going to go speak to some of the seniors or soon-to-be graduates and see what they have to say about their very last day in school. So I am here with some seniors. Ladies, how does it feel to walk through the halls for the last time?
Feels weird. Like when I first started high school, I never thought that would be me. Like I never thought I'd make it through. Yeah.
It's crazy. You're not going to walk those school hallways ever again. It's crazy.
All right, so ladies, I see your 2019 alumni t-shirts. How does it feel to officially be alumni to Oxford High School?
Feels good. Feels good.
I think it's more bittersweet than anything.
All right, so I'm here with a large group of the seniors. Guys, how does it feel to have today be your very last day in high school?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, it was a long 4 years, but we're here now.
It feels great.
Now, how many times did you cry throughout today?
Zero.
Yeah, I just cried a little bit tears, seeing a couple people.
My eye, but
Okay.
closest to it. Accident.
Yeah. No crying for us. We're big, strong.
No real tears.
Yeah, I did. I did.
I've been trying really hard not to, but I probably could if I thought about it some more.
Now, how was walking through the halls and seeing all of your younger classmates clap you out and say goodbye?
That was good. It was, just an honor to be a senior and seeing that they respect us. We the big dog, so you fit in, you get in where you fit in. That's what you got to do.
Kind of overwhelming. Yeah.
It was really weird. Yeah.
Is there any teacher or even younger classmen that you're going to miss after you leave this year?
I have a lot of friends I'm gonna miss, but the one teacher I'm gonna miss is Miss Lee.
Miss Lee.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah.
I'm in an early college program, so everybody in that program for sure.
Miss Brown.
Miss Brown, yes.
Miss Brown, who is Miss Brown?
The best teacher at Oxford High School.
Yes.
That's a fact.
And the people, too. The people.
We'll see. We'll see.
And what colleges are you two going to, if you are?
I'm going to Oakland University.
I think OU too. Yep.
Well, hey, at least you get some friends on your college journey. 4 more years.
Big things. Big things.
Doctor, lawyer,
Doctor, warrior, millionaire,
hoops, but undecided.
Big things. Huh.
Okay, so a lot of things going on after high school, as you can see.
I got one more. Wavy sports brand coming out soon, so you got to get the merch. You know what's going on.
Hey, get your merch. Get your merch. Hey, get your merch.
Big things.
Okay, these seniors are very excited for their last day, and I can't blame them. you think about going to high school as I get to go to prom one day. So are you guys prepared for that? Are you still preparing?
I mean, I think I'm prepared just because like I got everything that I needed like a month ago, I think. Yeah.
I'm all ready too. Got my eyebrows and my hair done. I'm good.
We're here with some parents. We obviously had to get the parents' perspective. How does it feel to have a senior, not even a senior anymore, you have a college student?
No, it feels great. I'm proud of her. She's a strong young lady, so I'm glad.
Very good, because, with our kid, he always says he can do it. So we're ready for him to go. And he's ready to go. But we're excited, it's a good feeling. You talk to the other kids, and some are crying, some are not, but they're excited. So it's a good feeling. It's good to be here with the atmosphere, feeling of, joy and kindness and great.
Hooray! Yeah. What can I say? Time stands still for no one, It's truly exciting.
Congratulations to your student at OHS, no longer a student at OHS actually. Congratulations, guys. It was really fun to see all of the seniors come out. Some were crying, some were really excited, and the parents had all the same emotions, especially the two that I spoke with. One parent in particular being a parent of a girl on the basketball team, or who was on the basketball team. She's going to do basketball again in her college career, and some of the other parents had just about the same emotions, really excited for their students and for their kids to go on for that next chapter in their lives. But moving right along, we're gonna go to Kingsbury Country Day School and take a look at what they're doing. All right, so Dr. Lewis, it was kind of by chance that we bumped into you today. Tell us why you're at Kingsbury today.
Well, we always like to go to our schools occasionally to see what they're doing. Sometimes we just want to be reminded of who's in our portfolio. And we also want to look at opportunities for professional development. So we sit down and ask schools, what are they doing, what do they need, and our office tries to support them in those capacities. So we were just here having a nice visit, and it turns out you're here, so that worked for you and for us.
Now, what do you typically do when you come out on these visits, or do you oversee Kingsbury's curriculum and different things like that?
It's a great question. So we provide oversight, compliance, so we make sure that the school's operating in the capacities that it should. We also talk with the leaders, with the teachers. We sometimes try to benefit them in things that they're doing with curriculum, but even some other things, helping them with trips, helping them with technology. So we have this spectrum of responsibilities. We have 18 schools and about 11,000 students. Kingsbury is part of that network.
Now, recently, within the last few years, Kingsbury has switched from being a private to a charter school. Were you involved in that decision making? And if so, what was the significance behind changing?
Another good question. Some private schools, the reality of trying to have parents, families afford the cost of education, it compels them to look at opportunities. So when they converted to a charter school, it made it much easier because they could operate with full per pupil funding. They didn't have to worry about parents having to pay. And because of the high quality education, it was a logical change. And I think, in fact, they increased in enrollment to the point right now where they're growing beyond the walls in a very good way. And they're just as strong academically, or even more so now.
Is there any changes now or in the future that you're looking forward to implicating, or anything that you really wanted to stay the same when Kingsbury switched over from being private?
I think the big thing for people is to know that they have a place where they can get their students educated in a safe environment that challenges them. They're an international baccalaureate school. That's a phenomenal distinction. They're a green school. They're an environmental school. They do so many things to help students, to compel them to learn in a different way. I call it a what-if school. So what if you had a place where you could do things like tap maple trees and use that syrup? What if you had a place where you could investigate things like streams and wilderness and do studies of plant life? Those kinds of things don't happen everywhere. So they really are doing a tremendous job providing those what-ifs for families, and families want to invest in that. And we love it. We want them to continue with that effort because it not only comes out in developing a well-rounded student and a worldly student, but they're also well-prepared.
Now, in closing, what is your main mission for not only Kingsbury, but all of the schools that you oversee?
We want our schools to perform, compete, and provide excellent education. Everybody can get better. And I'll tell you with confidence that Kingsbury can't get much better, but everybody can get better. And our job is to help them get there so that everybody in our portfolio is outperforming schools in their area and providing their families with the kind of education that they want their children to have.
Well, thank you for talking to me, especially on such short notice today.
Hey, I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Mrs. Bristol, what is a Country Day School really? Is it a private school? Is it a charter school?
That's a great question. So we have a unique history. We were once a private school for 60 years, but we're very happy that for the last 6 years we are a public school academy. That means we're a charter school. That means no tuition.
You're right. All right, so a lot of people don't know that. I know some people are just now getting wind that you may not be a private school, but it's actually been 6 years. Yeah. So since that change from being a private school to a charter school, obviously there's no tuition. What else has changed or maybe has stayed the same?
Well, a lot of our traditions and what makes us a unique school, things that are important to us, like environmental education. We're an international baccalaureate school, which means we're an inquiry-based program that celebrates the whole child. All of those traditions have really stayed true. What's changed is growth. We are so happy. We're at about 330 students this year. When we were a private school, we were about 90.
Wow,
so we're growing every year, expanding our programming, bringing in faculty with a lot of great ideas how to enrich our program. It's been a lot of change, but good change.
Okay. And also, so your grade levels are what to what?
Yes, so we are a pre-K, which is a 3-year-old room, all the way through 8th grade.
So, and essentially, it's like early learning all the way up into middle school until you need to go to high school. So this is a long-term school,
absolutely,
not just a few years.
So yeah, families often feel that, whatever age they do join the Kingsbury community, we are our own little special family here. And so through those elementary years and then up through middle school, it's Kingsbury is just your family.
And now, a lot of people also don't know this, but Kingsbury is 2 separate schools, kind of. So you have one school across the way, which I myself mistook as a house or a ranch of a sort. But there you house what grades?
So we have one campus that is just with our kindergarten and 1st grade. And then our larger campus, we have our preschool age children and then 2nd through 8th grade.
Okay, and then the bigger building that we're in right now, this is the junior kindergarten, and then it's the 1st through 2nd grade, or 1st through 8th grade?
2nd through 8th grade.
Okay. Now, the way you did that, was it intentional? Is it any specific reasoning behind putting certain grades in one school and the other grades in the other?
We found that the kindergarten and 1st grade combination over there really creates its own type of community. And so our junior kindergarten students and our pre-K kids are up here, and it's a great opportunity. We have our older kids that go down and interact with the younger kids at certain points of the day. We also have purposeful transition time. For our kindergarten, our 1st graders, they have their own special building just across the street a little bit. But when it's time to come to music class and art class and gym, they get to walk up here, and we know that amount of movement for transition is really important at those early years.
Okay, and going right into that curriculum. So obviously, you need your core curriculum, but you also need your extracurricular activities. In those 2 subjects, what do you offer?
Absolutely. So, as a public school, we do follow the Michigan standards, and our curriculum is formatted around the International Baccalaureate. In the elementary, that means we're a PYP school, and so we take all of our core subject areas and our teachers craft units of inquiry and really dig in and capture student interest. But then all our students in the elementary, they get to go to gym twice a week, music twice a week, art twice a week, they go to library, they have environmental studies, which is something that's really a special tradition here. They get to go to all those special classes. They go to Spanish, starting all the way at JK. Our littles start to learn Spanish. And then when they progress to middle school, which for us is 6th grade, 6th through 8th grade, that curriculum also embraces those core subject areas: English language arts, math, science, social studies, ESP, and at a middle school level we call it ESP design. And what that really means is that it's not just an environmental studies class, but it actually is more of an environmental action type class where the students are designing, identifying problems, that we're facing in our planet right now, and maybe ways to fix it, and they're coming up with those solutions. And then on top of that, we have elective programming for our middle school students, where as they're older, we want them to have more ownership with their education, so they get to choose the specialized areas. So they can choose things like ceramics for art class, or band, or a Spanish class that's about cooking, or an outdoor recreation physical education class. So we give them some specialized options when they're older.
Okay, and speaking of that green, you guys are now a green school, so you're incorporating even more projects. Like, we were walking through the hallway and you said to me, we have the lights off right now because it preserves energy, for lack of a better term. And what other things, incorporating the green school, are you guys doing?
Oh, absolutely. So we do have 2 gardens right here on campus, and so the kids, they know all about, taking care of the garden all the way through harvest season. And then we call it a salsa party. And we harvest the tomatoes and the peppers and the onions, and the kids make salsa. We have tree tapping right here on campus, where we're tapping the trees and boiling it down and making syrup. We have a pretty grand recycling program. Every classroom is involved in that, and the kids get their hands on making sure we get the recycling sorted and taking it out every week. We also we have the Power Down Fridays that we're doing. There's a lot of different things that we do.
Yeah, you guys have a lot going on, and I absolutely love it. And, going into the field trips and different things like that maybe not all schools get to participate in, which you were telling me they're like ski trips.
Yeah.
And, a lot of schools don't get to go skiing as a trip unless they're on the ski team. So tell us how that all came about and different things that, the kids get to do as field trips.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a special tradition that was really important to stay with us as a charter school. So it all started when we have great grounds here, and our kids are outside all the time, but our physical education program wanted to expand. And so we started going to Mount Holly, which is only about 45 minutes away. So every Friday, January through mid-February, the entire school goes to Mount Holly. And so even those littles, we get them up on those hills being risk takers. Yep. And it's a great community experience. Many of the parents will join us for the day and ski, and it's just a great extension of the learning. And then we have a variety of other field trips that our students take, large trips like going to Washington, D.C., and then more like your local things like actually next week our junior kindergarten students are going to Seven Ponds, which is a beloved field trip, visiting even places in our community. Our 2nd graders every year go to Meyer, which doesn't sound like a field trip. But they're learning in their classroom about economics and systems in a market and goods and services. And so they actually go to Meyer and learn about the services that they provide for a community. And they come back here and they make pizza with the things that they bought at their field trip. So we do a lot of different things.
I love that. And it sounds like you guys started them off really young. I know you said you started them off young with the Spanish and different foreign cultures and language, which is essential really when learning a different language and being bilingual, but also teaching them that you can preserve energy by just cutting the lights off for 1 day a week.
Oh yeah.
So that's really awesome. And now for those who are watching this right now who would maybe like to enroll their students in the future, how would they go about doing that? And I think you were telling me there is a waiting list for that.
There is. So, every year around January, we have open enrollment. And so you would be able to just contact the school and we'll get you in touch with our admissions director, and she can talk to you about the whole process and what that looks like. But you know, going charter means that we became available to everyone in our area. And so you can learn about the program. I will say there are some wait lists, but you know.
Like any great school has.
Yes, like any great school.
And when you say open to the area, that doesn't just mean like Oxford, Addison, or Leonard. That means you can be from Clarkston if you would like to and come and still try to enroll and get your kids in here. So it's not just specific to the area, but it includes the area as well.
Absolutely. We're really proud. We pull from like 14 different areas.
Yeah. And an amazing school, honestly, with a lot of amazing benefits and bonuses that not all schools have. But if you are interested in putting your kids in Kingsbury Country Day School, or maybe just finding out more information, don't hesitate to use the assets available to you. You know, go to their website or call their main office. But that about wraps up this interview. We look forward to being back at Kingsbury, and it sounds like it's plenty of opportunity to do so. Until next time, I'm Alexis Ware. For those of you who don't know, Kingsbury Country Day School has been a charter school for 6 years now, so they're no longer classified as private. If you would like to get your students involved in this or possibly enrolled on the waiting list, you can go ahead and visit their online page or just call the school and see what you have to do. Moving into the next segment, we go to Oxford Virtual Academy and we speak with the principal there about both OVA and OSEC. Take a look. So you are the principal of OVA and OSEC. Tell us what today's open house for OVA is all about.
So today's open house is a time for us to open our school doors to the community. We're proud to be able to highlight our many offerings, learning pathways, and to be able to showcase how students can come into OVA and create a personalized learning pathway. And all the great things that Oxford Community Schools has to offer, because our students are welcome in our seated buildings as well, and we have locations all over Southeast Michigan. So it's just a great way to highlight so many cool learning opportunities.
You guys have a lot of webinars coming up and actually have passed and are coming up. What is the idea of that?
The webinars, a lot of families, it's difficult to get to an open house, to go to a location. So it draws in some of those families from outlying communities. It's in the comfort of their own home. It can be in the evening, and it's just a way for them to meet our staff and to understand what we do. Sometimes because we offer so much, it can be a little bit complicated. So it's a way to be able to help them understand the offerings and the pathways. So many kids today, I think, are struggling or just are looking for a different way to learn. We have truly created a school where you can create your own pathway ahead for your educational journey.
Now, OVA and OSEC are obviously for the students of Oxford, but do you also reach out into other communities like Addison and Leonard Township?
We do, actually. We are a school choice district. We have many students from outside Oxford and outside Oakland County. We can enroll students from our 6 contiguous counties, so we're really proud of that. We have students in classes all around the area. Through technology now, those tools have allowed us to provide some really great opportunities in the area across the board. Yeah.
And now a lot of people still don't know that just because you're enrolled in OVA or OSEC does not mean that you can't go to a traditional high school like Oxford High School, but you can dual enroll. And I think you were saying something about triple enrolling. So
Yeah, so our students who, let's say you're an Oxford Virtual Academy student, but you are an Oxford Community School student first. So our schools welcome. So for instance, Oxford High School, you can take a couple classes there, a couple classes with OVA. You can take dual enrollment. You can go to OTEC. So there's lots of opportunity. If you're in the early college program, you can go to college, seated, virtual, lots of different opportunities. There are even a couple that have done the technical schools. So just a lot of, it's almost overwhelming options, but it really is allowed students to kind of create a blaze a trail that they want to go down.
now explain to us the difference between OTEC and OSEC. What's the difference between those two?
OTEC is the technical campus that through the county, they're in different locations. OSEC is a part of Oxford Community Schools. It's another high school that's the 5-year program. So you come out with 60 credits and associate's degree with the early college.
Now explain to us the different, I know it's so many, but the different career paths and degree paths that OVA and OSEC offer to students.
Oh gosh, so the different career paths, it's college prep. I mean, it prepares them for college, prepares them for trade school. We also have many homeschoolers who are getting their homeschool diploma, and we're able to provide electives and opportunities that way. Oh my goodness, our early college students, liberal arts, sciences, health sciences, career tech education. So, if they want to go down an IB pathway, they're better off doing that through the high school. But if they want to go a little bit different, the early college is a good route for those students. Choice. Again, it's choice, right?
All right. Now, when are the due dates and the deadline dates for all of these different options that students and parents have?
So there's no really due dates that to come into Oxford Virtual Academy. We have, the open enrollment goes through the end of August. And then the early college applications were due last week. So we're kind of weeding through those right now. And that's usually the end of May every year or something like that.
Now, throughout the school year, do you offer anything for students who, say, went through OHS all the way through, they only took high school classes in class, but now they want to try something different for semester 2? Is that an option for some students?
Absolutely. We have many of our Oxford High School students who fall under, they call it the 21F law in Michigan, that all students have opportunity to take an online class. And it's very smart on their part because most, even trade schools and colleges now, you have an online. So to be able to function in an online world is a skill that our students need. So we have many of our Oxford High School students taking a class or two with us, some even more.
And when is your next webinar for everyone who possibly didn't come today or won't see this?
So I recommend that they visit our website. I don't have them memorized, but there's a few coming up, and they're on the oxfordvirtualacademy.org, on our website, and our Facebook page hosts all that.
And all of the information that they need, registration dates, etc., including classes that the students can take, are all on there.
Online, yes. Visit our website. It's pretty thorough. It has all the of our Fusion program, which is our full-time kids in a little bit more of a blended environment. It has all of our partnership custom-created courses. The full catalog is there for all students in Oxford.
And we're going to close it out right here. Another tidbit that is very important to understand again is that you do not have to be a full-time OVA student or a full-time OHS student. You can have a blended curriculum or dual enroll. Also, just because you do OVA classes, and if you do decide to do OVA full-time, you do not have to stay at home all the time. It's not your traditional online class.
We have a drop-in lab. Kids are in here constantly, in and out, so lots of opportunity to meet other students and meet with your teachers in person.
So go ahead and check out that website, or just come in, stop by one day and get some additional information. Until next time, I'm Alexis Orr. And again, as school is coming to the last few days, it's not too late to go ahead and register or just log on for their webinars to find out more information about OVA, OSEC, and all of the different programs that they have going on. Remember, it is possible for your students to dual enroll, which means that they would be both in the high school and taking online classes for any subject that they would be interested in. If you'd like to know more information about this, either call the front desk at OVA, or you can obviously go online and visit their site. But that about wraps up this 100th episode of Schooling Around for today. Until next time, I'm Alexa Zorn.